You might not see it blowing up online, but there's a quiet change happening in the American firearm market these days. While the spotlight stays fixed on those flashy striker-fired pistols and speedy carbines, there's another story brewing in the background. A few revolvers, classic, often overlooked, yet rock solid, have been steadily climbing the sales charts. No internet drama, no viral clips, no celebrity shoutouts, just steel, performance, and reputation doing the convincing. These wheel guns aren't the most photogenic for Instagram or the loudest on YouTube, and they don't chase trends, but the sales numbers tell the truth. Folks are buying them up, carrying them around, and putting them to the test at the range, valuing reliability over online buzz. This list isn't built on rumors or chat room chatter. It's grounded in hard sales data, real-world use, and patterns I've seen take shape firsthand. Some of these revolvers might catch you off guard. Others you might already own. Either way, this is the true tale behind the wheel guns quietly becoming the best-selling revolvers in America without causing a fuss. Taurus Judge. Some revolvers earn their keep where there's no camera rolling, no hashtags, no hype, just real work in real places. That's exactly where the Taurus Judge operates. It's not built to win beauty contests. It's built to get the job done when there's no backup and no second chances. Chambered in both .45 Colt and .410 bore, the Judge runs a dual-caliber setup that sets it apart right from the start. Barrel lengths range from 2.5 to 6.5 inches, with models supporting both 2.5 and 3-inch shotgun shells. That kind of flexibility makes it equally at home in a glove box, a ranch cabinet, or a hip holster in the backwoods. Mechanically, it runs like most double-action revolvers, but carries more weight, and for good reason. That extra heft helps it soak up recoil from defensive .410 buckshot. And when loaded with .45 Colt hollow points, it delivers a cleaner trajectory with predictable recoil behavior. The .410 loads tend to spread wider from shorter barrels, making them ideal for 7 to 10-yard shots where patterning matters most. No, the Judge won't win you any bullseye trophies, but that's not the point. This is a utility gun. It's a tool, and the beauty is in the options. You want birdshot for snakes? Load it up. Need some hard-hitting hollow points for defensive work? Drop them in. It's the revolver version of building your own loadout. The reason the Judge keeps moving in steady numbers is simple. It solves real problems for real folks. Rural homeowners like having one close for pests or any other threats that might appear. Truckers carry it for versatility on long hauls. And even though it catches flack online from the purist crowd, Taurus keeps expanding the lineup because demand hasn't dropped. Industry data from late 2024 through early 2025 shows the Judge regularly landing in gun brokers' top 10 revolver lists. Out on the range, it doesn't impress with finesse, but you can feel its purpose. It's blunt, capable, and made to deliver when you're way off the grid and need your shots to count. The Taurus Judge isn't here to look pretty. It's here to make sure you're still standing when things get tough. And that's exactly why it keeps selling. Ruger LCR. Most guns don't get reimagined, they just get replaced. But every once in a while, one comes along that's so well executed, it reshapes the entire category. That's what the Ruger LCR did to the world of carry revolvers. This lightweight, compact revolver wasn't just another snub nose with a new grip texture. Ruger tossed out the old-school rulebook and started from scratch. They abandoned the all-metal frame in favor of a polymer fire control housing, added a monolithic aluminum upper, and wrapped it around a stainless steel cylinder. Depending on the chambering, the LCR weighs between 13.5 and 17 ounces, and it's offered in calibers ranging from .22 long rifle to .357 Magnum and .327 Federal Magnum. But the real sweet spot, the one that dominates carry sales, is the .38 Special Plus P. It hits that perfect balance between stopping power and manageable recoil, all in a frame that disappears inside a pocket or an ankle holster. Visually, it looks plain, purpose-built, but the real standout is the trigger. Ruger's patented cam-driven system gives you a smooth, consistent double-action pull with no stacking, something you rarely find on snubs this size. In testing with standard .38 loads, follow-up shots stay surprisingly accurate, even under time pressure. Muzzle rise is quick but manageable, and with Plus P ammo, the LCR delivers solid defensive performance. This isn't the gun you show off on the range. It's the one that rides in the waistband when you leave the house. It's the revolver folks choose when they stop obsessing over specs and start thinking seriously about what they want to have in their hand if the worst-case scenario ever shows up. And it's not just theory. According to Gunbroker Trend Reports, the LCR continues to chart as one of the top-selling revolvers in the carry market going into 2025, especially among first-time carriers and veterans looking for reliable options. The LCR isn't flashy. It's not nostalgic. It's not made to impress anyone. But out here in the real world, it's proving over and over again why sometimes simple and smart wins. You don't carry it to brag. You carry it because it works. Diamondback SDR. Every now and then, a revolver shows up from out of the blue, and it lands with enough force to make the whole industry pause. That's the story behind the Diamondback SDR. No history, no decades of revolver tradition, just a company known for ARs and polymer pistols stepping out of its lane and nailing it. In 2024, Diamondback launched the SDR chambered in .357 Magnum, and shooters immediately started taking notice. It's equipped with 6 rounds, a full lug 4-inch barrel, and runs a double-action, single-action trigger system. Frame and barrel are stainless steel. Sights are fiber optic up front, and rubber grips keep it steady, even with heavy loads. What really stood out during testing was how manageable this thing shoots for a revolver in its price class. Double action is on the stiff side, but single action breaks crisp. The front sight picks up clean in daylight, and even with full-power magnums, recoil stays under control. At 10 yards running quick strings, it consistently held tightly grouped fists, plenty accurate for defensive use. What makes the SDR interesting isn't that it went viral. It didn't. It's been slowly gaining momentum with buyers who want power, function, and reliability without burning a hole in their pocket. Gun shops have been reporting steady movement since late 2024. And by early 2025, it started popping up more on Gunbroker, not as some limited edition safekeeper, but as a workhorse meant to be used. No retro mystique, no flashy branding, just a well-built wheel gun that doesn't pretend to be something it's not. The Diamondback SDR didn't arrive with fanfare. It showed up, clocked in, and got to work. And if this momentum keeps going, we might be looking at the next go-to revolver for budget-minded shooters who still demand performance. Colt Python. Let's start with a name that doesn't need much hype, just durable steel and a legacy that never truly left, the Colt Python. When Colt brought it back, they didn't launch it with fanfare or gimmicks. They rebuilt it with a simple message. Precision craftsmanship is back. Chambered in .357 Magnum, the modern Python offers a 6-shot cylinder, a ventilated rib barrel, and a stainless steel frame that's been smoothed, tuned, and structurally reinforced. It's available in 3-inch, 4¼ and 6-inch barrels. But what really stands out is how much they strengthened the internals. Colt wasn't chasing nostalgia. They built this thing to perform well on the bench. It doesn't feel like a retro showpiece. It feels like a finely tuned machine made to hit the target. The single-action break is lighter than spec, crisp as a snap. And the double-action pull, though long, is surprisingly smooth for a revolver of this size. With the 6-inch model and standard Magnum loads, recoil stays manageable. As long as you've got a solid grip and proper stance, you feel the power, but it won't knock you back for enjoying it. But here's what really counts. It's not just the design that's catching attention, it's the demand. Looking at Gunbroker sales charts from 2023 through early 2025, the Python's been consistently riding high. In May 2025, it was ranked as the #1 selling revolver on the entire platform. And folks aren't buying these to leave them on a shelf. They're ordering them in bulk, often waiting weeks just to get one in hand, then putting them straight to use. You know, when it hits that 3rd cylinder, that's when everything aligns. The timing, the lockup, the recoil behavior, everything just syncs. And you get it. You understand why folks are still dropping over $1,000 for one. This isn't a wall hanger. It's not a collector's display. It's a revolver that proves its worth every time you pull the trigger. That's how the Colt Python made its comeback. Not by shouting, but by demonstrating it still delivers where it counts. Heritage Rough Rider. Let's change pace and talk about a revolver that flies under every radar until the sales figures tell the story. the Heritage Rough Rider. It's basic, it's affordable, and it just keeps selling. Most serious shooters walk right past it without a second glance. But if you've checked national sales data lately, you know the truth. This little single-action rimfire has quietly worked its way into the top ranks. And it's not some one-off spike. It's a trend. Chambered in .22 long rifle, often paired with an optional cylinder for .22 Magnum rimfire, the Rough Rider usually ships with a 6.5-inch barrel, fixed sights, and weighs a little over 33 ounces. The frame is zinc alloy. The barrel and cylinder are steel. That mix keeps the price low, usually somewhere between $130 and $160, but still holds up where it matters. It's not a refined piece. It's not supposed to be. What you get in the hand is exactly what it looks like on paper. A slow, steady, no-frills revolver that does what it's supposed to do. Loading it requires intent. Half-cock the hammer, open the gate, and feed each round one by one. That rhythm teaches new shooters awareness and discipline, the same way a bolt-action .22 rifle trains fundamentals. On the range, recoil is nearly non-existent, and there's something genuinely fun about that old-school cowboy feel. The trigger won't win medals, but it breaks cleaner than you'd expect from a gun in this price range. With decent ammo, it holds accuracy out to 25 yards, especially with the longer barrel. Sure, the sights are fixed and simple, but it keeps groups tight enough to stay interesting. What's wild is how often this thing stays in motion during a range day. You bring one out, and it never sits on the bench. Folks pass it around, new shooters, casual plinkers, even kids. It just makes everyone want to turn. Heritage has moved hundreds of thousands of these things. And according to Gunbroker's 2024 sales summary, the Rough Rider sat comfortably in the top 5 most sold rimfire revolvers, and is still moving strong well into 2025. These aren't safe queens. They're getting shot, thrown into toolboxes used for pests, plinking, or just burning through bulk ammo. No tactical attachments, no glamour, just a revolver that sells year after year because it keeps one promise. It works. Smith & Wesson 686+. Some revolvers are made to conceal, others are made to withstand tough situations. The Smith & Wesson 686+ feels like it was built to do both, and still look good doing it. Chambered in .357 Magnum with a 7-round cylinder, it's available in barrel lengths of 2.5, 4, and 6 inches. With stainless steel construction from end to end, it's got a full underlug barrel and adjustable rear sights, giving it the balance of a precision range revolver and the brute toughness to churn through thousands of hot Magnum loads without a hiccup. In the hand, it feels right. Enough mass to control recoil, but still quick to aim down the line. The more you shoot it, the better it settles in. The double-action trigger isn't match grade, but it's smooth, predictable, and tuned just right for field use or defensive work. This isn't a safe queen or a showpiece. It's the kind of gun folks take into the outdoors, teach their kids with, or strap to their hip for peace of mind. You're not just buying steel and springs. You're investing in something that'll probably outlast you and the next 2 generations behind you. As for the market, the 686+ has never been trendy, and that's exactly why it sells. Through 2024 and into early 2025, it remained one of the most purchased mid-frame revolvers in the country, especially among serious shooters who want true Magnum capability without going to snub-nose extremes. What sets it apart is the balance. Modern performance, old-school toughness, and 1 extra round in the chamber. It doesn't try to reinvent anything. It just executes the formula perfectly. For folks who care more about results than style points, that's what keeps it moving off shelves. Before we close the book on this one, there's something worth noting. In a world where guns get picked for clicks, trends, or whatever the algorithm's favoring this week, these revolvers are a strong reminder that substance still matters. They're not just selling well, they're proving that performance, purpose, and practical value still win when it counts. Whether you're new to wheel guns or you've been using revolvers since your granddad taught you how to thumb a hammer, these models stick around for one reason. They work. Not because they're loud, not because they're flashy, but because they consistently do the job day in, day out. If one of these caught you by surprise or made your list, Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every one of them, and if there's a sleeper revolver we didn't cover that deserves some attention, let's hear it. Appreciate you riding along. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay sharp.